Hello, and welcome to the third season of Marking Out with My Girlfriend.
This is my actual third girlfriend, if I think about it, in the sequence of people I started dating. Aaron.
This is my third girlfriend, Kat.
Hey, it worked out.
I think it does work out.
Play the music. Yeah. But what if we actually played the music?
I mean, then I just fade out the video in the editing and keep the soundtrack.
Background pop punk? Was that the song?
Yes. Actually, if you go into the media server,
Yeah.
or just the server in general, and go to Marking Out with My Girlfriend, I think it's assets. It should just be theme song is the cut part.
Okay, well, I went to my local drive.
Interesting story, Brad. We do have a flowchart.
Yeah, we do, actually. That can be part of the episode, right?
We have a whole polycule map. It's confusing and hurts my brain sometimes.
I will note, Aaron, you are talking over music right now.
Oh. I can't hear it.
We've both been talking over it, so it's fine. It's just part of the intro now. Okay. That's all that's all the music I'm doing. Ooh, let's do this stupid, awful, amazing show.
I love this show.
It's like everything is off the rails already. We just start.
We haven't done this in 2 months. We don't remember how to. What's a wrestling?
I think okay, so Aaron, welcome to the show again. It's been 2 months. What have you done wrestling related in the last 2 months?
Wrestling related?
Mm-hmm.
I actually went to a wrestling show. There was a tequila expo at the convention center around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I held my breath for 2 hours to go see this. Because I didn't want to breathe anything in because I'm still scared to death of this pandemic.
Reasonable.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't get to see all of it because I ended up leaving early because it was also like a food and drink expo. So a lot of people were using that as an excuse to not wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, I've got like half a shot in my glass still. I don't need a mask. I'm drinking. It's like, yeah, no. Does not work for me, dude.
Yeah.
But I got to see Demand Lucha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good show?
Very good show. They brought up a couple guys from Mexico even.
Ooh.
I don't have my notes anywhere near me.
That's okay.
I forgot about this until now.
Genuinely, we're just gonna bullshit for like an hour to 2 hours. It's fine.
No, that's what you usually do.
What other wrestling things have you done in the last 2 months?
I watched wrestling.
Okay. Yeah. Did you...
Except for that time I watched wrestling and forgot all about the wrestling.
Oh, that's right. Last Friday, Aaron missed last Wednesday. Aaron missed the entire episode of Dynamite because Aaron ate a 100 milligram edible. The entire thing. The day before our wedding, the day before my wedding, you ate a 100 milligram edible and you were a part of the wedding.
Well, you see, you gave it to me.
Yes, and I told you not to eat the whole thing.
Well, it wasn't working, so I figured I'd keep going.
That's how edibles happen.
It wasn't shit. That's why I didn't post on Twitter.
Thankfully, the edible wore off in time and you were fine for the wedding.
Oh yeah, overnight, I woke up at like 3 a.m. with my back hurting. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, okay, I think I'm done with this now.
It doesn't really make pain go away, it just makes you stop caring about the pain.
Yeah. I was okay with that, actually.
which is nice.
Like, when you have restless legs, it's really nice.
Sometimes, though, if you smoke too much sativa, you end up in a feedback loop between your autism and the natural rhythm of the earth that you connect with when you get high, end up becoming a metronome.
Yes, you do. And then your girlfriend has to hold you so you stop doing that.
I keep looking up directly into my ring light and blinding my...
Don't do that. That's amateur stuff.
I know, right?
But what was that you mentioned?
Oh, yeah. There was that thing that happened, I guess it was at PAX, where you got into a chop contest with someone?
That's not what I meant. What I was talking about. But okay, we can do this story.
And you lost that one too?
Okay.
And then there was that time last week where you challenged someone. I forget exactly who and what the circumstances were, but I seem to recall you tapped out.
So one, it was overhand chops. These were penta chops. Those suck. Two, I wasn't wearing a shirt.
That was your choice.
Cat was.
That was entirely your choice.
Just because I'm not a bitch.
And
I can say that because you're wearing the ears.
So I chose to wear a shirt because I have residual Catholic guilt from when I was raised Catholic and don't like being naked. So it's your fault.
You see, I wasn't raised Catholic and I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair.
And three, you bit my friggin' toe.
Okay. And maybe next time, get good. Don't get
I'm the one with the foot fetish. What are you doing biting my toe?
Explicitly getting you to tap out.
It was such bullshit.
You're the one who tapped.
Yeah, because you were biting my toe.
Barely.
And Emma wasn't paying attention to do a 5 count.
Well, I had till 5 and you tapped out at like 2.
Because there's no count going on.
So Aaron has a case of tap outitis, and I am 2-0 against Aaron.
Now, to be fair, I did end up winning the match we had. Emma counted that one. That was after the chop contest.
Oh, okay, fair. I'm 2-1 then.
There you go. Yeah, Cat worked heel. Who could have seen that coming?
No, I worked toe.
God, I hate it here.
Hi, Moki. You've come at a very delightfully weird time. Oh, God, the energy.
Okay, but there was something else you mentioned there. I was high before your...
My wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got married last week. Been married for a week and a day.
So does that mean you're off the market now?
No. Oh, he got one drink out the nose.
Oh, good night. Good night.
I am absolutely thriving off of the very, very, very manic energy that we have right now.
Oh man, this is something.
And like, I'm not even high, I'm just like this.
Yeah, no, I prefer you not be high for the show.
No, I wouldn't be coherent for the show if I was high. I don't get high that often. Except when I'm on vacation. Then I get high every day. Tired week. That's not true. I didn't get high on my wedding night because I was too tired.
We were all very tired after that.
The drinks were good though.
Yeah. Well, I was the DD, so I'm going to trust you.
did a very, very wonderful. Thank you for.
Yeah, and then I drank when we got back to the apartment.
Yeah, that's fair. We both appreciated it. So there's wrestling that happened this week. There's wrestling that's happening in a couple of hours. There's wrestling that's happened tomorrow. In the last 2 months. There's too much wrestling.
There's a lot of wrestling.
I think there should be less wrestling, and all of it should be harder to watch.
Okay, fucking Nick Khan over here.
And also, none of the wrestlers should be wrestlers. They should all be former athletes. Except,
and we're gonna fire all the people who could train them properly.
Except Braun Breaker, he's allowed in.
Yeah, no.
But we have to fire Samoa Joe before he can wrestle, because we can't have a Steiner going up against Samoa Joe again, because it makes math non-Euclidean.
Anyway. So, how do we want to do this? Do you want to go over some key points that happened over the past couple months?
If you want to. I don't remember anything.
I remember Hangman won right after our last show, I believe.
That's right. That was that weekend. Wow.
In an amazing match.
An incredible match. I do think that it might not have been... There are moments in that match that I remember very dearly, very fondly. To turn down my ring light so I don't blind myself. There are moments in that match that I remember being incredible. Kenny kicking out of the one-winged angel at 1.
Oh my goodness. I was so excited for that, because that's been the main talking point for the past 2 years.
Is nobody has ever...
Who's gonna kick out of this thing?
Nobody not named Kota Ibushi has ever kicked out of the one-wing angel.
Nobody who hasn't slept with Kenny Omega has kicked out of it.
We can't confirm that.
Fair enough.
Nobody not... The only people able to kick out of the one-wing angel are the Golden Lovers.
Yes.
That's the easiest way to phrase it.
But I remember even watching that match, sitting here going, oh my goodness, are they going to do the one-wing angel spot? Is he going to kick out? And then Hangman did it. And Kenny kicked out. And I lost my mind.
Yeah, that was frankly incredible. Hangman has put on such great matches as champ too. I mean, his 2 versus Danielson.
That whole lead up too, where Dan taking on the Dark Order to get to Hangman, was so good. Because typically with something like that, you have the heel make the babyface run a gauntlet to get to them. We recently saw that with MJF and Jericho.
Right.
But in this case, you had Danielson working heel put himself through a gauntlet.
Right. It's
leading up.
It's an incredibly Bryan Danielson move.
Mm-hmm.
Wherein he does this unnecessarily difficult thing to challenge himself. Because he's just that good and wants to have the challenge.
Yeah. He just pushed himself that much harder.
He's constantly pushing to be better and pushing himself to take that next step, because he knows going through that gauntlet of the Dark Order is only going to make him better when it comes to understanding the psychology of Hangman.
Yeah, and he's going to get in Hangman's head at the same time by putting his friends through all that bullshit, including kicking out Colt Cabana's teeth.
That's okay.
Or
Colt
at least
Cabana,
the caps.
yeah, it's fine. Only Colt.
Fair.
Silver's match was incredible, though.
Oh yeah, Silver's was very much standout in that whole thing. I would think Angels is also like almost as good as Silver's.
It's the thing, like they clown on him a lot, but Five is a good wrestler.
He hangs with those top guys like no one else, really.
Like, it's interesting to see how like these, and you might call them like Gen 1 AEW, might not. Like, Five is definitely not a Gen 1 talent.
No, he was very early pandemic.
He's a Gen 2 talent. But even so, like, there's a lot of Gen 1 talent in AEW that, like, doesn't get the same spotlight, but when you see them get the spotlight, they can go.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, I wish people like Silver were booked to win more often. Because...
On TV, Dark.
Yes. At this point, I do not count AEW Dark or Elevation as being real matches. Like, they're enhancement matches to make it seem like people are better than they are because of the records.
Yeah.
Company where the records matter. Throwing a bunch of local indie wrestlers at, you know, your primetime talent to pad their stats so that they can eat a bunch of losses is iffy.
It made sense getting going and through like the really low points of the pandemic, but it doesn't do as much now. I don't think.
No, it doesn't. Because especially because, so like, when Dark was at its peak, or like when it kind of was the thing that everyone watched, it was because there wasn't a lot of alternative on TV. There wasn't a lot of and by on TV I mean streaming.
Yeah.
Because indie wrestlers couldn't wrestle because of the pandemic. Indie shows are going again. And like, there's other stuff to watch on Monday night. Or there's other stuff to watch on a Tuesday night.
Yep. If you use an IWTV subscription, there's a lot to watch anytime you want.
Yeah, you can go to our affiliate link, which is somewhere.
I don't think we have Nightbot on this channel anymore.
No, we don't. I think the affiliate link for the Soses Media,
just use coupon code Soses Media when you check out.
That works. Or go to an episode of Chicks with Dice and read the episode description and then find the link there. And while you're there, download an episode of Chicks with Dice and support us on Patreon at patreon.com/SosesMedia. I'm ironically shilling, but also it would be nice to get some more money.
Yeah, no, we had a bit of a drought there, so we gotta remind everyone we're back.
Yeah, we had a content drought because hey guys, hey friends, hey everyone in chat. Planning a wedding's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Planning a wedding in like a month is next to impossible.
Yeah.
And I fucking did it.
Yep.
Mostly by myself. Because Emma's very busy. And I respect that their priorities were focused on certain other things, and I needed to step up and handle that. And that's part of our marriage, is that we step up and handle things when the other one can't. You know?
Yeah, no, I am never getting married again. I'm just gonna be good here. I did it once.
Aaron has been married for a very long time, Moki.
Yeah. The emotes aren't ours.
Which emotes? Praise and pets?
If I didn't see enough of that already. Anyway.
Where were we?
So Hangman and Danielson.
Hangman Nielsen, right.
Hangman and Page.
It's been a while since we've said that.
Yep. So yeah, we got to the Dynamite for Winter is Coming with Danielson and Hangman, and title matches in AEW have a 1 hour time limit, and then it's just a draw.
Mm-hmm. And with the champion's advantage, that means the champion retains.
So they went the full hour.
Yep. And Aaron, how was that match?
Oh, it was amazing. They paced it so well. Like, the only low points they really did were during the 4 commercial breaks. And they timed those perfectly to get back in as they came back.
Mm-hmm.
And the finish, where Paige gets into the ring and hits the lariat as the bell rings for 1 hour.
It was just so good.
3 more seconds is all he needed.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it was a beautiful match, well put together. They both ran it so well.
And you got to watch an hour of world-class wrestling.
Yeah. Right at the start of the show.
Mm-hmm. And then they had some other matches on that show, but frankly, nothing was going to hold a candle to that, right?
Yeah. No, not really. Like, it kind of blew everything else out of the water right at the start. It's what you're talking about going into the next week. And then this week on Dynamite, they did the rematch, because you've got to have a winner.
Of course, you need to know who's going to win.
And for this one, Danielson decided to bring out some judges for it. So they had Paul White, they had Jerry Lynn, and they had Mark Henry out there ready to judge. Now, judges are something AEW's done 3 times now, I think.
Okay.
I think it's been 3 times. It's never gone to a judge's decision. I know someday it's going to, and it'll probably be disappointing, actually.
I could see situations where judges... Okay, is a judge's decision a majority rules, or is a judge's decision required to be unanimous?
It's usually majority rules.
Okay.
So the thing is, because it's wrestling and the winner's pre-selected, they will already have their decision, and you just know there's going to be like a huge botch in the middle of that match that should sway the decision, but it won't. And it's just like, that's just irony and fate working there.
Right, but like, if it goes to judge's decision, then it's a subjective loss, and I would think a judge's decision would be a indication to continue the feud.
It could be, yeah.
So a judge's decision does not have to wrap up the feud.
No,
and
no.
in that respect, it can be a good part of building a story.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you put in like an intentional botch.
If you do an intentional botch, that's different. Then you're just Brian Pillman Jr.
Now hold on, Aaron. That sounds like cancel culture.
No, I can actually talk about that after this match, because I thought it was really neat.
Okay. As long as you're not trying to cancel someone for...
No, I loved it.
A shitty thing that they did, like... Marty Scurll.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
this is mostly me being very, very annoyed with Brian Pillman Jr.
Oh, did he do that?
Yo, yeah, his
fuck.
whole cancel culture sweatshirt thing. Did you miss
Oh,
that?
yes.
Oh,
I was not paying
oh,
attention to that.
Aaron. No, my whole last 5 minutes of routine is ruined.
Yep, because I don't pay attention. So let's finish this up real quick then.
Sure.
Paige Danielson 2. They only went 30 minutes. But it was a slugfest of 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They're both bleeding. They're both out of juice. Danielson even does like the Kenny exhaustion feint at one of the buckshot lariat attempts, which I popped really hard for. I saw some people who were very upset they took that spot,
Mm-hmm.
but like I liked it. I liked the use of it.
I think it's a clever hint of the way that Bryan Danielson approaches wrestling. He studies past matches, right? Like, he is someone who reviews tape extensively. And seeing that whole, like, use of something from Kenny's arsenal says that Danielson knew somewhere in the back of his mind, if I just fall flat here, I'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
It makes perfect sense from the way that they're portraying his character for him to do that, and I don't get why you would be upset about that.
Because meta Lee, it can be seen as taking a spot. So I like the use of it.
I don't not take even like even if you're being meta about wrestling, like, we don't know. So even if it would be taking a spot, let's I will concede that that is a possible thing you could do, just like stealing a joke. If you ask the fucking EVP of the company, hey, can I do this spot? And he says, yeah, that'd be great. Me, Kenny Omega. I'm hopped up on caffeine and sugar.
Yeah, no, that sounds like Kenny Omega.
Then you don't have to tell the fucking audience that you got permission to use that spot. You just use spot. And, like, I don't know. It's just, like, obnoxious sparkism again. Like, I understand wanting to understand the industry. Frustrating when people overanalyze and, like, rush to defend things that don't, or rush to take offense on behalf of wrestlers for things that they're not offended by. Like, they're adults. They can speak up for themselves. Kenny is an EVP at the company. If he wanted it to not happen, could have said don't do it. Like, it's frustrating. You know?
Yeah, it can be. But they did that. They did a really good over the rope suplex bit. And in the end, Page did get his win over Danielson. The first loss Danielson's taken since leaving WWE. And, you know, our AEW champion is very legitimized by this whole feud.
Yeah, especially against someone like Bryan Danielson.
Mm-hmm.
So, where do you think Hangman X?
Okay, I honestly think we're gonna see him and MJF. Probably for Double or Nothing.
Okay.
I expect MJF to win at Double or Nothing. Because I'm expecting Hangman to have a shorter reign this time. and then build back up to winning again near the end of the year, like Full Gear or All Out kind of thing. Because one of the leaked things from before is that Hangman's story is about 2 years long. So that first year plus pandemic it is getting him to the title, dropping it again, and getting back up to it. That's like the big start of the company Hangman storyline.
Right.
Now, from the rumors I've heard.
Is it possible that that storyline has been amended because of the pandemic, and it was his, like, him losing and going away for paternity leave was kind of a reset on that?
I don't think so. I think if they're going to have a big multi-year idea for him, they're going to play it out, even if it takes a little bit longer than they originally planned. Because they can. They write the scripts. They can do what they want at their own speed.
True. And that is a good point. I don't know if it's MJF, because MJF is going to get powerbombed into paste by Wardlow.
Okay, Wardlow is definitely going to turn on MJF.
Yes, that's got to happen.
It's definitely going to, like, begin. Is it next week MJF and CM Punk have a match? Or is it 2 weeks?
I don't remember.
No, it's next week he has a match with Wardlow, and then they'll set up with CM Punk another time. I expect Wardlow to lose next week and, like, get berated by MJF again, and it just becomes, like, deadly obvious where they're going.
Okay, Aitsu says that Adam Baby Cole should be the person to beat Hangman. I think that is the case.
Adam Cole beating Hangman, like, that would be really good.
Also, I should clarify that I am calling him Adam Baby Cole because that's what they called him at Triple Mania.
Yes, they did. Oh my goodness, we watched Triple Mania in this time.
Yes, we did.
What a bonkers night that was.
Mm-hmm.
Where we switched to the Spanish commentary, despite none of us speaking any Spanish, because the English commentary was so boring and so inaccurate.
It wasn't. It was people trying to do commentary for the first time at a pay-per-view. I don't want to say it was bad because they were trying their best. It was unpracticed.
They didn't know what they were watching.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was Matt Striker on the call. Like, he worked for Impact for years, calling all their stuff. They didn't know the AAA product. They didn't know who the people were, what they do, and who's the good guy or the bad guy.
And to be completely honest, that is, I'd say, in large part due to the fact that AAA's reach into the US has been limited. Because of some bad deals. I'm hopeful that with the fact that they were on Fight for this, that things will start to progress in such a way that AAA is able to bring Lucha Libre more readily to American audiences. Fucking adore Lucha Libre.
So you know what they could do? In theory, maybe, if they're really good at negotiating, they could call up AEW and they could say, hey, can we borrow Alex Abrahantes and Thunder Rosa and Dasha Gonzalez?
I mean,
because they can translate the Spanish when people are in the ring talking. They probably have a better idea of who everyone is.
I mean,
just from exposure to Penta and Phoenix.
Wrong. That would be fucking cool.
Really fucking cool. Send
So,
Taz. Eddie Kingston on commentary is just a dream.
But yeah, no, that was a fun event. I like. First of all, whenever we watch AAA, my favorite thing to do is look at the Jumbotron because during the matches they have ads running on the Jumbotron.
Yep.
And I always pop whenever there's an ad for the food bucket. It's like there's these ads for like, I don't know if it's survival rations or what, but it's literal like 5-gallon Home Depot buckets of food.
Yep.
And I'm like, the food bucket's back, and then it's gone as soon as Aaron looks.
Every time.
It's a thing.
It's a good compliment to the matches.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I like
Good condiment to the matches.
Oh my god, I'm so fucking warm.
Oh, I killed her. I'm sorry.
It's very. I turned my heat up maybe a little too high. Or it's the alcohol.
Probably some mixture of them. All the above.
Cocktail. Okay, what else did we have to talk about? Oh, we watched a very important match last week.
Which night?
There was a match that happened literally as I was getting married that I've wanted to watch
Right.
for friggin'
2 years?
years.
Oh. What was that match? Tell us all about it.
So that match was part of one Avery Good, professional wrestler farewell tour matches. And it was somewhat of a rematch. And it was a lucha de apuesta.
Ah, I love a good apuesta.
And it was, as mentioned previously, Avery Good, professional wrestler. And Big Dan Champion. Versus the Outfielders. In a mask versus mask match. Now, Cat, you might say, and Aaron was about to say. Continue, Aaron.
But Avery Good doesn't wear a mask.
No, not anymore. But the stipulation was, if he lost, he must remask and finish his career as Dasher Hatfield.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, right? What an exciting stipulation for a incredible match.
Between 4 people who have had great matches.
Now here's the thing. I'm gonna hang up a curtain rod and I'm gonna spread some curtains onto it. And I'm gonna peel them back just a little bit. The names Dasher Hatfield and Boomer Hatfield are still owned by Mike Quackenbush.
Yep.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, but like, if you were paying attention at all, you'd know how this match was going to end. But it was a 2 out of 3 falls match.
With proper lucha tags.
With proper lucha tag rules. And it was awesome.
Oh my goodness. They spent so much time just throwing Boomer out of the ring to beat on Shay. Oh, I love lucha tag.
Beating him down. Eventually, they get the pin on Shay. They have like the minute to regroup. And things go wild from there. And like Boomer comes back and gets the second of 3 falls. Because you never have a 2 out of 3 falls match that ends after 2 falls.
If you do, it's on a weekly show and no one really cared to begin with.
Exactly. And it just continues to escalate and escalate and escalate. And after the second fall, like, Boomer's going for sleeper holds the same way that he beat Dasher when Dasher Hatfield was Dasher Hatfield. He's trying to beat Avery Good the same way, but Avery Good is a professional wrestler. And as his entrance music would have you believe, he is the best, 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 the best. There was a spot during this match where when he came out, he was standing there in the middle of the ring, arms raised.
Like he does.
Like he does when the best, the best, the best is playing. It stops, he puts his arms down. He raises them back up and it starts again.
And him and Dan are just walking around like this on the outside.
It was very funny.
When did Ortiz get there? Oh my goodness. Okay, little interjection. Avery Good had a dark match right before Dynamite in Newark.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wish that it was against Ortiz now. Just so they could out the best each other. Interjection done.
So actually that does lead me to my next thought. Because Avery Good's farewell tour, he mentioned 6 more matches. The dark match does not count towards that total.
Nope.
Because very recently, a hashtag started going around, hashtag sign Avery Good.
As they should.
Absolutely, they should. I mean,
My
like, AEW is kind of dealing with some roster bloat at the moment.
Yeah, like, and they're coming up on the 2 to 3 year thing where they're going to start, where contracts are going to start, like,
expiring,
hitting that halfway mark where they get renegotiated, and people look at where they are and how they're doing in the company and where they want to stay or go. So, like, for the most part, it should even itself out.
I suspect that there will be some departures. I suspect that there will be some people who go to WWE even.
Yep.
And I think that's good. Like, ultimately, having the ability to work and negotiate and have somewhere else to is good.
Yep. It's best for everybody.
So I'm glad. I'll be glad to see people choose to go somewhere else if the contract isn't right for them. No?
Yeah. And it's like we've definitely seen some people over the past couple years who just aren't the best fit. They definitely have an idea of going somewhere else with what they're portraying.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? They're not getting locked in, so that's a really good thing.
Right, they're not stuck. Who in particular are you thinking of that might want to go somewhere else?
Oh, now you put me on the spot.
I would think that I as important as he has been in the first 2 years of the company, I don't know that Janela's sticks.
Probably not.
He's not being used just straight up.
Like, same kind of thing with Leva Bates isn't being used where she is. She started really strong and they just haven't, so it's like maybe now they can look into that and go, what can we do here? I like Kylene King hasn't been appearing because she's been doing more indie and NWA stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That has been working out great for her.
Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of Nightmare babies graduate to go and do something else.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I think going somewhere with a different training staff, with no hard feelings, no resentment, or like anything like that, you're going to end up with more well-rounded, better wrestler overall.
Yep.
Without a doubt. You get better quality wrestler from having them have diverse experience. And AEW has worked very hard to build up a diverse roster of training staff. But it is ultimately still the AEW product. Going somewhere else will get you experience working with someone who you haven't worked with before. It'll get you the experience of being trained by someone you haven't been trained by before. And that results in better wrestlers. Like take Danielson. Gives tremendous credit, part because he's, John Laurinaitis' son-in-law.
He doesn't want to make Christmas too awkward.
To WWE for helping him become a better wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't disagree with that. He learned things that he wouldn't have learned on the indies there, and his stock went up.
Yeah.
Like, going to other places, as long as you're not in a perpetual contract, is good. Look at Omega. So do you think retires? Semi-retires? Signs a different contract where he wrestles less?
I would definitely think maybe wrestling less for Omega. We'll have to see what it's like when he gets back.
We have to give him time to cover him. I don't think it's worth a Judy.
Yeah, we have to wait for him to recover and see what is more lasting.
I would like to see Kenny come back. I'd like to see a champion again.
Yeah.
But if it's not in the cards for him, cards for him.
Yeah, no, Kenny Omega has nothing to prove in the wrestling industry.
Eitzer says talking about his path to where he is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I completely misread that.
I just went off it.
Oh god. Okay, so yes, no, Kenny Omega's path and the people he's worked with, companies he's worked with, is what makes him a world-class, top-tier, phenomenal wrestler.
Oh yeah. Starting with DDT, moving into New Japan.
Indie work before DDT. He had to get noticed before he went to DDT.
Well, you see, he just flirted with Coda at that point.
Yeah, he got noticed by Coda, which is when he made friends with Michael Nakazawa in order to more effectively flirt with Coda.
Who would then translate their... Yep.
Which, when they were tweeting at each other last year, and Nak was translating, that was so adorable.
That was the most beautiful lover spat I've ever seen. And yeah, especially with Kenny Omega, when you start off with the very comedy route, going to the WWE training camp and working a match around his opponent's ass into wrestling a blow-up doll, and then the matches with Coda.
Hold on, Yoshihiko is a very legitimate wrestler.
Oh, I know. It's a big step up. But then, the matches with Coda, where they got to, that New Japan quality and were able to move to there and experience that whole thing. Yeah, no, Kenny's story is really what we're talking about other people having a chance to work up to.
Right, to gain. It is a thing have 4 people working. You know, like that. At the end of the day, that is what it comes down to.
Yep.
Okay, so talked about. Oh, we got distracted. We never talked about the finish to the 2 out of 3 falls.
Nope, we didn't. Us get distracted.
Yeah. So at how the finish went.
So it was basically Boomer and Avery in the ring. Dan and Shay were taken out of the match at that point. Dasher hits a DDT.
Who?
Avery Good, who could have been known as Dasher Hatfield again. I'm not that wrong. Hits a DDT on Boomer for 2, surprising everyone because no one's kicked out of that since he started this indie run. Go back and forth a little bit more, and he hits a second DDT. Pins Boomer, who then has to unmask. Originally, Avery was like very excited to take Boomer's mask off. In comparison to Boomer, who was not happy at all about removing Dasher's.
Right, he was very reticent to remove Dasher's mask. In fact, so reticent that Dasher ended up pulling his own mask off and saying, "See, you couldn't even do this. You won this fair and square, and you're so much of a failure you couldn't even take the mask off."
Yeah.
Which was
Shay,
such good heel work.
And it doesn't stop there, actually. Shay chased them off with a hockey stick. So they're gone. Boomer's allowed to unmask himself. And they give him a towel to cover his face, like they did for Avery Good those years ago.
Shay.
Yes. Shay did all those years ago, and Boomer refused it. Just such great play off the old story.
It is. It's very, very rare that do this kind of long-term storytelling.
It can be a lot more difficult over several companies and even several years.
Yeah, I mean, like, this one ended up happening at Pizza Party Pro Wrestling, which is, I think it's Cheeseburger's promotion?
Possibly? I actually don't know.
I think so. Because, like, if it was going to happen anywhere, it would have probably happened at the now questionably statused Camp Leapfrog.
Yeah. I'm hoping they come back. I understand if they don't, but I'm hoping.
It was...
Yeah.
Just, it hit in a way that didn't hit, that like a lot of other matches don't have the opportunity to hit, because you have been watching this, you know this has been going for not just 2 years, but longer than that, like since Dasher's heel turn in Hara.
Yep.
That's how long this has been.
Ever since Boomer was like coming out of the factory. What are they called, the factory? I don't remember.
Wrestle Factory?
Yeah. Yep.
So you have this kind of like really in-depth long-term storytelling. The kind that we praise in AEW happening in indie wrestling.
Yep.
Across promotions?
Yep. They definitely had encounters in Camp Leapfrog. In addition to doing all of their own stuff as well. Like, this has not been a laser focused thing. Like, get all the points and get it in. It's like, no, they've been working normally around this for so long.
I'm really impressed with the way that handled right. It has been emotionally devastating. It has produced two of my favorite all-time matches.
Yep.
Like, there was a thing on Twitter last year of something like what was, you know, something like tell me about your favorite wrestling match in 4 pictures or something like that.
Yeah.
Or tell me about a wrestling match you've watched multiple times or something like that. And the match that I chose was the original Apuesta, where Dasher Hatfield was unmasked. Then Chikara Grand Champion Dasher Hatfield was unmasked. And it was like, it's still one of my favorite matches because it's one of, okay, so like I don't remember the exact run. It wasn't like
that long
super
of a match.
long. But when you watch it that first time, even knowing how it finishes, even knowing that Dasher Hatfield unmasks at the end, that match takes so long.
They draw it out perfectly.
In such a, and I mean that in the most incredible way possible. Because that match draws you in, and you're on the edge of your seat. You pay for your entire seat, but you only need the edge. And then you're stuck, eyes glued to every single detail of this match, and time slows down. While you watch beat after beat happen. Because, like, the first time you watch it, you're like, I didn't think Boomer moved that slowly. Because you're so wrapped, everything goes.
You're watching everything.
It's like, well, wait a minute, Boomer's faster than that. Yeah, he is. You're just watching this match in slow-mo, baby. And then you watch it a second time, and you're like, wait, that was like a 10-minute match? I thought that was like an hour.
Yeah.
Look it up.
And yeah, like, there are so many matches I can go back and say that about. So many Bret Hart matches I could say that about. It's like, the matches didn't take that long, but you're so invested that it feels like it should.
The match has a 9.4 rating on Cage Match, which is basically unheard of.
No, it so good. They tell the story perfectly. Everything about it. And then from there, they went into the King of Trios weekend together.
Yup.
Because Shay really wanted to have them both on a team.
I would like for someone figure out how to do a weekend-long trios tournament.
Yeah. I would love to see the rumors be true and AEW bring in a trios title and have it defended over a weekend. I don't know if they're up for the production and logistics of it. Because
I think it would be a very interesting thing for AEW to have a trios tournament. Where the winner gets like a trios cup. But like it's seeded with a lot of indie talent in the tournament bracket too. And the indie talent has a chance to wrestle real matches.
Yeah. Trios G1, oh my god.
The T1 climax.
Okay. I love the G1. It's such a cool idea. It really pulls you in for like that month it runs. But it also runs for like a month.
Hmm?
I get halfway through and it's like, oh my goodness, there's still more.
Yeah, and like I don't have much interest in watching. I'm gonna be very blunt. New Japan is very anti-fan. Like, they will take down your tweets if you post a screen cap.
Yeah, between them and the television company, they're gonna find you.
So, I'm just gonna watch DDT instead. Like, DDT loves when you post screen caps of their stuff.
And we can watch TJPW with the same account.
And continue to watch Gato Move on YouTube.
Oh,
I love them. Like, unironically, I think Gato Move is one of my like favorite promotions.
it's that real punk mentality to it.
It's got a very like, so the vibe is very punk. Like, it's very DIY. It's very like, we've got this space, we're going to use it. It's got the vibe of like, we're doing this because we love it. And then you have these people, these particularly the women, getting trained by Emi Sakura while this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you're at this like, it's got like the aesthetic is very like shiny and bright and cutesy. It's like cutesy crust punk.
Okay. I don't think you're wrong.
Like, it's incredible, and like, more people should be watching Choco Pro. More people should be watching their YouTube channel where they regularly do Jenkem Pong.
Oh my god, those are my favorite things they've been uploading from AEW.
They'll like get whoever is at AEW at the time, and they'll challenge them to rock, paper, scissors.
Yep.
Speaking of Choco Pro and Tokyo Joshi, what was the Tokyo Joshi show we watched?
When was it? I know the one you mean.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was a great show.
It was the one where we tried to watch it overnight and I fell asleep before Saki-sama lost.
Yep. And I was fading real fast despite having a nap.
Hmm?
Wrestle Princess 2?
And it was Wrestle Princess 2, yes. Thank you, Aitsu. So that they had Balian Aki as part of the English commentary team.
And Chris Brooks. Yeah.
Yes. And that worked so well. Because both of them knew what was happening.
Yeah, and they both speak Japanese.
Yes. But then you have this like adorable little moment where Mesa and Michelle, the evil version of Balian Aki's normal tag partner, Mei Saruka, is wrestling, and Aki is just burying her the entire time.
She's so evil. She's a witch. I hate her so much.
It's so funny. It's so good. Like, it's clear that they are very good friends, and
Yes.
like that kind of like burying your friend as a joke in a super exaggerated way so that everyone understands it's a bit.
Well, also putting her over.
Yes, it's like it's a very, very, very rare commentary skill. I think Aki does a very good job, and like I have tremendous respect for him, particularly as a gosh, I don't want to get. I think he's Indian.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure that I got it right.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, at like when you particularly, I have a lot of respect for a Indian man going to Japan, learning to wrestle in Japan, and becoming like a relatively successful, at least stably employed wrestler in Japan. That takes a lot. And he's done a very, very, very good job of doing that for himself. And he deserves a lot of credit.
And he always looks like he's having so much fun.
Probably because he is.
Yeah.
Like, I would be.
I caught part of a live stream once that him and May Saruga did right before May came over for AEW, where he was explaining how to get through US customs.
Especially when you don't speak English or speak very limited English, getting through US customs is a nightmare.
Yep. And he's telling her right, like, they're going to ask you this, you say this. Going to ask you this, you say this. Yep. Now, further into TJPW, there was also a match on that card that had Suzume, who I'm pretty sure is my favorite Joshi wrestler now. Because her entire outfit was like bee themed. And I loved it so much.
Tokyo Joshi has such incredible, like, little character moments. I don't know. It's fun. It's great. You have current, as of 3 days ago, International Princess Champion Maki Ito, who is now actively challenging Thunder Rosa.
And we know she could just show up anywhere at any time. Oh, yeah, she is. And her tag partner is the other singles champion they have.
Right, because so like tag partner Yamashita.
Yes. The one I follow and I can never remember the name of.
So like if you look at the progression of International Princess Championship, you have Natsumi Maki, you have Yuna Manase, and you have Maki Ito. And then Thunder Rosa, who beat Ito for the championship on January 5th, 2020, and then vacated the title during the pandemic. And now Ito is champion again. And wants to prove that she's better than Thunder Rosa. So, as soon as she's able to get to the US.
Or Thunder's able to get to Japan.
Unlikely. Highly unlikely. Japan is on full lockdown.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense then.
Like, if you are not a Japanese citizen, you basically cannot get into or permanent resident, you basically cannot get into Japan.
It's Yeah, it's the same thing we had for so long here. Yeah.
which is frankly reasonable.
Yep.
I would genuinely not be surprised if Canada also did that. I wouldn't, like, I would maybe not with the US, but like,
They've been doing one-offs with different countries. They followed suit with everyone else banning most of Africa a couple months ago, and then going, "Wait a minute, this makes no sense. We just look idiots and racist."
because we're idiots and racist.
Who would have thought?
But that's like a thing. That's like Djokovic gets deported to Serbia and then immediately gets deported back to Australia by Serbia. It's just like Djokovic tennis.
Except he's not good at it.
Oh, and he's complaining about how the hotel he's in has bugs, and it's not like people are making fun of him for how upset he is about the quality of the deportation detainment hotel that he's in. I don't think that's the story here. But people like making fun of rich people. I don't think the hotel should have bugs in it for the regular deportations either. Personally, I don't think deportation should happen. But if they must happen under the current system, you shouldn't hold your deportation detainees in squalor. They are still people who deserve at least, like, bare minimum the respect to have a place to live while you await their deportation that isn't fucking a slum. Like, it's kind of unconscionable. Especially in a country like well-to-do Australia. You know Australia has massive race problems, you know, pot and kettle in this. Like all white countries that were settled by colonizers, Australia has massive race problems. Don't treat people like rats unless you treat rats like little cute little babies. Aaron, I think you're muted.
I'm muted.
Paco, do you want to say hi to everyone?
I was tweaking around, so I muted myself. Hello, little man.
Say hi to everyone. Ready to say hi? Hello, it's me, Coco. I'm here to say hi to everyone.
Oh. I'm not cutting this part.
I know, that's fine. Ow.
Okay. What were we talking about in wrestling? Because I've got the memory of a goldfish.
We were talking about Thunder Rosa versus Maki Ito, and how it is more likely that Maki Ito will challenge Thunder Rosa in the US.
Ah, yes, that would make sense. I think the boy wants some attention.
That's Scritches.
I'm saying, Kat, is there anything else we need to talk about this week?
We didn't have anything planned, so no.
Shh, don't tell away the secrets.
Oh, wait. Okay, so, Paco, get down for a sec. We're gonna talk about how this is going to work, because I have a vision for a blood and guts match.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, so blood and guts matches are 4v4.
5v5.
4v4.
Pretty sure it's 5v5?
Oh, also Hook.
Oh yeah, we should probably talk about Hook.
Eventually. Okay, so the one AEW Blood and Guts. Right, it was 5v5. Never mind. Okay, so I'm one short.
Okay, well, let's see what you have. And
Okay, so my idea is a match between the Elite once Kenny can come back,
okay,
and let's just call them Indubitable Epoch.
okay.
You know, a period of time that is not challengeable.
What a weird mouthful of a name.
Yeah, it's... Let's just, for the sake of ease of use, call them the Undisputed Era.
That's a much better name.
So you have, in the potential future, the Elite who have a freshly returned Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm.
You have uncoveted Matt Jackson.
Yeah.
Have Nick Jackson.
He was just Nick Jackson.
Uh-huh. What else is it?
Cody would tell you he was.
I don't know. If you really feel like it, you can get the Good Brothers back.
Someone to round it out, yeah.
Or Knack and Cutler.
Oh, goodness.
But you have to stop burying them so much.
Or keep doing it. It would actually be kind of funnier if you just kept burying them and they still went into a blood and guts match.
Maybe. Oh, stop biting the beans. I would love to see Cutler played again.
Yeah.
Because his entrances were very cool.
I appreciate what goofy punching bag Cutler does for the Bucks and Adam Cole. I really missed Cutler, who was like king of dark.
So, yeah, let's just say the Good Brothers for the views. You have Adam Baby Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Fish.
Yep.
And I forget to draw.
It's like the bumper sticker thing.
Who?
The bumper stickers you see all over the place. They're like abstract fish.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Who had a very cool debut.
And then let's just, like, I don't know, pick some, like, two more random people for... Let's just say, like, randomly, I don't know, Roderick Strong.
Okay. You know, I'm a big Roderick Strong fan.
But it could be also, you know, someone who fucking hates the Elite. Bryan Danielson.
Plenty of those. Johnny Wrestling. Oh, goodness.
Someone who maybe has some bad blood with Kenny or something like that.
Oh, there's lots of people with that.
Yeah. but someone who left WWE.
Oh, that'll really strike it to them.
I don't know.
Maybe. Oh, what's his name? I think it starts with a J.
I was thinking of someone different.
Oh, dang it.
Back.
Oh, I was thinking Johnny Gargano.
Okay. That could work.
If Johnny Gargano is left, I actually don't remember.
I think he's a free agent. Yeah, he chose not to renew his contract on December 10th.
Okay.
So yeah, let's just say Johnny Gargano. You know, someone who did good on NXT, basically, is the only qualification that I have here.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Now, you know, you can, if you want to, because Kenny's back, you can bring back a manager, say, like, your Don Callis.
Who has shown up in the background.
Mm-hmm. But
he's a cockroach, he can't get rid of him.
That leaves things a little uneven.
Okay.
I'm thinking, like, maybe the shorthanded Undisputed Era needs someone to challenge the Elite to this Blood and Guts match, and someone who's intimately familiar with all of these guys, having worked with them, helped them get to where they are, built up a brand centered around these guys.
Those are really specific requirements.
Yeah, but I think there's a guy out there. The only problem is, and this is a major drawback, he is British.
Okay, I guess the Brits are pretty good at wrestling, so that makes sense.
Oh, now I can't remember his name. Who am I thinking of? Oh yeah, Steven Regal.
Recently released Steven Regal.
He's a man.
Okay, but you know, if Steven Regal shows up, they're making a parody of that song for him.
Probably. Because I really just want to hear him on mic scream the words blood and guts.
Absolutely.
That's the entirety of what I want. Still saying blood and guts.
Yeah.
Possibly in a backstage segment where he screams it at Tony Khan.
Oh. So, like, AEW gets a lot of flack for just picking up old WWE guys. We've talked about this before, how that's a stupid thing to point out because WWE has employed everyone at some point because that was their MO.
Like, literally, Kenny Omega has been employed by WWE in the past.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to, you could call Kenny Omega a former WWE. Trent is a former WWE guy.
Matt Jackson did dark matches.
Everyone WWE.
But if AEW at least doesn't try to sign Steven Regal, that's going to be the stupidest move possible.
Absolutely.
Like, whatever he wants, give it to him. Even if it's just for, like, a 3-month feud with something, have him as a manager, don't care. Just have him on your show, because everyone loves William Regal.
He's so talented. He's crazy talented. Mm-hmm. You could not have had the success of NXT in the way that you had it without.
Nope.
It doesn't happen. Triple H recognizes that too. Like I feel bad because Triple H has been out for having had a heart attack, and then they gutted entire legacy because WWE is also kind of a little bit Succession.
Yep.
And Triple H is here playing Kendall Roy.
It's kind of funny because Triple H played his way into the family to get all these perks and where he's at. And he screwed up by having a heart attack. And it's all being taken from under him.
No, what really happened was they screwed up by not figuring out a way. And this isn't an NXT issue. This is a VKM issue. He screwed up by not figuring out a way to work with billionaire Tony Khan.
Speaking of,
Tony Khan shouldn't be allowed to have a Twitter.
No, I'm not even going to get into that.
No, we're not getting into that. Other than the fact that Tony Khan, when the revolution comes, I no longer will hesitate. Yeah. But I'm not gonna post that. The whatever I previously said about the Tony Hawk exception.
Yeah. But Lilith on Twitter, I can't remember her handle right now.
At Death Carpets.
Thank you. Had pointed out earlier in the week, like, with all this stuff happening around Triple H, like, there's a chance that he gets let go. It's a non-zero chance. It's probably not going to happen.
It's very small, but it is non-zero.
But if that were to happen, like, whatever condition he's in, like, doesn't have to be a good match, but Triple H and Cody. It's like...
Here's where I'm thinking about not that match, but what happens there. I have to imagine in Triple H and Steph, they have a pretty significant share of the stock portfolio or the market capitalization of WWE.
Yeah.
This is a family business. Vincent Kennedy McMahon, not exactly a young man. The ratings have been consistently plummeting. It does not take a rocket scientist or a business genius to convince the board to remove him from power. It just takes a pretty significant amount of shares.
Yep.
And between Steph and Paul, there's a pretty significant amount of shares out there that might be very pissed off if Triple H gets fired. And I think it would be very fascinating if WWE and Kennedy McMahon's legacy ended with a bear hug takeover.
It would almost be apropos.
It would be poetic.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like some sort of, like, spurned family hostile takeover. Like, okay, tangent. We're gonna keep going on tangents. Yes, we've been going for almost 2 hours. No, I don't care. The Rogers Corporation in Canada.
Oh, no. I knew this where you're going, but oh, no.
Oh, my God, that story.
And you know what? I'm going to step out while you tell this.
Can you get me water on your way back? Okay, so the Rogers Corporation is one of Canada's largest telecom and news media companies. If you have watched HBO's Succession, you're more or less familiar with the Rogers family. Except that where Logan Roy is still alive, Edward Rogers is no longer with us. And there is all sorts of clown shit happening in that company. At one point, there were 2 rival boards of directors who claimed legitimacy. It was like, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the event. But there was the, when there was the Pope and the anti-Pope, and a bunch of anti-popes and popes were declaring each other the Antichrist and shit like that. It's that, but with a board of directors for a multimedia telecom company. A little bit Aitsu, but also funny. Because it's a bunch of rich people having bad shit happen to them, and it's enjoyable to watch. Which is also, quite frankly, why you should watch Succession. It's hilarious. I adore that show. It's so fucking funny. Also, Cousin Greg is the best character, but that's neither there. Basically, the Rogers Corporation is going through a, like, television drama where the courts have to decide whether or not, what's his face?
The shareholder?
Yeah, Ted Rogers.
That was the previous owner?
They've all got the same fucking Edward Rogers. So Ted Rogers was the previous owner. He died.
Yeah, he's when he renamed Skydome.
Edward Rogers, or it is now technically chairman and CEO again, or at least just...
Yeah.
He was ousted as chairman of the board by his sister and his mother. He had a majority share of the company after his father died, the inheritance, so he just fired the entire board and replaced it with his own board. That board claimed that that was not a legitimate move that he could make without approval from a majority shareholder vote. He did not have the vote. He just did it because he's the majority shareholder. So it went to the courts. The courts said actually everything he did was legal. Sucks to suck, I guess.
Yep.
So now, Edward Rogers is in charge of the company, and Soses Media is still a massive corporate interest in Canada.
They're one of 2 monopolies.
And this was all triggered like around the time that they bought one of their rivals, Shaw Communications.
Yep.
So things are interesting.
Yeah.
Because now Rogers has a bigger share of the media landscape, telecom landscape in Canada. And unilateral control is held by one man.
Mm-hmm. It's a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah, Canada is a corporate hellscape. But hey, they keep people happy with healthcare. Bad healthcare.
Glad I have the healthcare.
Healthcare that's only good in comparison to the United States and the UK.
Yep.
Come to Canada, we have healthcare that's only good in comparison to the worst 2 places for healthcare options.
I can go to the hospital and not be charged, and I like my doctor, so I'll keep trying to get better, but at least I have that going for me right now.
Okay, but what about prescription drugs?
I pay for my prescription drugs.
What about your glasses?
Even though the liberals have said, we're not going to let you pay for that.
The liberals have been making that promise for 20 years.
Yeah.
And
since before I could vote.
Yeah, and they've had control of the government multiple times since then. They haven't done shit.
There's been an 8-year period I think they didn't.
Yeah, the Harper years.
Those were fun. This fucking country.
Yeah. It's rough. Alright, gang. I've got a fucking headache because I haven't had water in 20 hours.
God damn it, Cat.
We'll talk about Hook next time. We'll be back in 2 weeks. I will say to everyone thing that I say at the end of every single episode, which is, be gay. Crime. Bang!
Marking Out with My Girlfriend is a production of Soses Media. Check us out at SOSES.ca. Music has been provided by Sounds Like an Earful.
Yeah. So, Aaron, have we undergone any major life changes, the two of us, since we were last here?
I don't know. I think it's been a pretty slow and quiet time.
Yeah. I got these ears.
Oh yeah, those did show up. They look very good. I did change my pronouns.
I got a collar that says Sub Pup on it. That one's pretty neat.
You know what we did do?
What did we do?
We went to PAX.
Oh yeah, we went to PAX Unplugged, which I feel very guilty about.
Yeah, I mean, that was timed exactly perfectly, so...
I figured out the exact right way to drink the Kenny Omega, Total War Redcon 1 gamer piss. That's right, you did. Congratulations on the new pronoun. I feel like we're missing something.
We did Christmas, we did Hanukkah.
That's true, I did make a lot of latkes.
Yeah. You were up for a bit of it. What did we do while you were up? I'm drawing a blank on like that whole week.
I know, like, I brought my camera, we took a couple... That's what it is, I got married!
You got married! Congratulations!
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
God
okay, now that we're done doing an Evangelion bit.